Wake Up Call with Benji Snead continues on 92.3 The Hub, the voice for freedom.
Welcome back to the program. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. 6:50 a.m. here on the Wake Up Call. You're listening to 92.3 The Hub. I'm Benji Snead along with our producer, Brennan Riker. I didn't ask you this morning, Brennan. What's the latest on the Rangers? I know you're following all that.
Well,
he's our sports director.
They lost their rubber match to the Rays 3-2 yesterday afternoon, and so now they're kind of limping into tonight's series against the Astros, and this is
best team in baseball.
Who, the Astros?
I could get him going.
No, I love it.
Well,
I love it.
This is a must-win series for the Rangers, so I am all in this weekend.
Okay.
And when I say all in, that means I'll be yelling at the TV.
Are you good?
Okay. We have been warned.
Yes, we have. Are you gonna be in the movie theater when they're playing though?
No, so I'll be out of the movie theater on Saturday, right when first pitch of Saturday's game is. So I think first pitch Saturday is 6 o'clock, and I'm going to a 3 p.m. movie.
You can tell why Brendan likes to say he keeps me in line, because you're very well planned out, organized, and knows everything about sports. So
I love it.
We'll follow that stuff. Okay, we're visiting with Kerri Thompson this morning. She has Simple Things, and we're going to explain what it is. So what I'll do is I'll go back and kind of recap what we've talked about.
Sure.
And if I get something wrong, just jump in there.
Sure thing.
You left Westmark and started Simple Things when?
A year ago today.
And so how would you describe in one sentence what you do with Simple Things?
I come alongside leaders and help them clarify their next step.
Nice. Okay. And you recently did this with the chamber. Mm-hmm. Isn't it interesting when you get a group, a leadership group, a management group outside of the day-to-day mm-hmm. and what you can discover and how things are, solutions perhaps are right in front of you. You just don't reach out and grab them because you're so busy knocking out mm-hmm. that urgent mm-hmm. but not important list.
I mean, it is so important to step away. That's just in life in general. Like we get so caught up in the wheel, and so to have that group of people focused, I was not going to waste their time. I was like, we've got to maximize this time together, and they brought it. They were amazing, and that you've met. The board. They're amazing people.
So you had the board, and all the staff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did we have to close the chamber doors for a couple of days?
No, they have a fantastic intern, Max Dement, that held down. Yeah, there you go. You know him. Yeah. He held down the fort for them, so they were able to go, and it was just neat to see them all connect.
Y'all got out of town.
Yes.
Went to Arizona. You said
Albuquerque.
I'm sorry, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah.
And so, what were the big takeaways?
Big takeaways.
Anything you can share?
Sure. So, the big takeaways is board engagement. They want to be involved, mm-hmm. and they want to know what's expected of them. So that was really cool. We've got some great things in place.
Interesting.
Well, but if you've ever been on a board, Benji,
sure.
It's like, yay, I'm on this board, but what do you want from me? Like,
right.
And so that's what was really cool is they defined what their role was. How do they support staff?
Yeah.
How they show up and make our chamber great. They all believe deeply in the importance of great business community, and now they know the next things that they're going to get to do. So that was a big part. Another big part was just member retention, like reaching out and saying, hey, we want you here. We want you to be involved. Yeah. The only way we can really have the best 1,500 member chamber, 1,500, that's huge. I work with other chambers that have nowhere near that number. So that's
growth too. That's bigger than it's ever been.
Yeah, we laugh because on their website, I was like, hey, by the way, the website says 1,400. Immediately, Hallie Hayslip goes like, it's been updated, 1,500.
Of course she
awesome.
Did. Hallie's great. Yeah.
Yep. So it's just cool. How do we make this, if we're going to steward this well, mm-hmm. how do we do that?
Yeah.
And so that's what was the big thing that we walked away with is let's get member engagement, board engagement, and then just have a great time doing it. And I think that's what was so cool is we walked away people just really excited.
Yeah.
So
I've most of my board experience has been over the years. I say was. I feel like I'm just not. I've been on a lot of different, but mostly nonprofit.
Yeah.
I find and I ended up chairing most of them. That's kind of that.
You're a doer, Benji. I know.
It's what you do. You know. But I find there's two types of board members, basic types. People that want to do the very least. People that want to make a difference. But in both categories, they both need to know what's expected of them.
Right.
And so you're revealing those types of things.
Good. Sure did. And they, we've had, I think this is what's cool. There's been people on that board, and this happens a lot, that have been on there years. They've been on that board for years and got some clarity on things. And then we had some that have only been on the board for, 6-7 months, and they were like, this felt like orientation. Now I know what I'm supposed to do for the rest of my term. So that was really fun to see.
Do you talk much about branding and brand and mission? All the above?
And we can talk. So really, that's where I start.
Okay.
If we don't know where we are and where we've been, we don't know where to go. And so, that was a big thing of what's the mission of our chamber? What's the vision? What are the values that we need to be running all of our decisions and actions through? It's our filter.
We could talk about this. You might have to stick around for the 8 o'clock hour as well.
Yeah.
I'm reading a book right now called Brand Reckoning. I'll recommend it to you, but it's all that stuff's fascinating to me because you can't produce a customer experience unless you know who you are, right?
Yep.
All right, visiting with Kerri Thompson with Simple Things this morning, 6:57 a.m. More about branding, missions, retreats, just the simple things. I'm going to do that probably 10 more times.
I love it. Hey, bring it on.
Back with Kerri Thompson after this. You're listening to the Wake Up Call, 92.3 The Hub.
Wake Up Call with Benji Snead continues on 92.3 The Hub, the voice for freedom.
Good morning, Lubbock, Texas. Pour yourself a cup of ambition this morning, as Dolly Parton says there. Good morning, 7:06 a.m. This is the Wake Up Call, so wake up. Benji Snead here, along with producer Brennan Riker and our guest Kerri Thompson in the studio this morning. Good morning again.
Good morning.
I love that you got here early. We like to punish the ones that come early and put them right on the air. Just throw them right into it.
I'm on my second cup of ambition, so let's go.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. I love it. Okay, so let's recap. So we get folks tuning in and out about every 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So let's recap. You've got an interesting story. You were at Westmark by all measures, a successful businesswoman in Lubbock. Walked away from it all. I know timing's a lot of everything, and started Simple Things. Don't want to dwell on on the transition as much as what is Simple Things.
Yes. So I've always believed that some of the most meaningful things in life and in leadership are simple.
Okay.
Simple does not mean easy. It doesn't mean small. It doesn't mean insignificant. It just means that the simple things are what makes life great. Yeah. It could be having the hard conversation. It could mean just writing down your 3 top priorities that morning to make them happen that day. It could be...
If we could get that far.
Right. It could be even just following through on what you promise. It could be inviting someone to the table. It could be just seeing someone for who they are and the value that they or really just say for them to be seen and valued.
Wow.
Those simple things are big things.
It sounds like a lot of what you're preaching here is based in principle. And if you just follow your principles, like accomplish something every day, treat others like you want to be treated. How does that carry over into a curriculum when you're dealing with business leaders and staff?
So I do think we are in such a hurried world. Let me just say that. I think we feel the need to fill every space, every moment with busy. And when we do that, we make things very complicated. But whether it be a leader or my family, if we can just get clear on what's important, what matters right now, what doesn't matter right now, and decide, what I own in it and what matters, then I can, or what matters right now, I can move.
Yeah.
My company motto or slogan is clarity leads to action and action leads to impact. We have to simplify first and then we can live boldly. If we aren't willing, because so many great things, if we get so caught up in all that busyness and chaos, that's all we're doing is getting busy.
Busy doesn't necessarily mean
and
productive.
And we're not effective. And so when we can step back, like we were talking earlier about the Lubbock Chamber Board stepping away to Albuquerque, New Mexico, get out of the busy, get clear on some things. Now we know what to do. It's the same thing individually when I was at Westmark helping real estate agents on their individual businesses, getting clear on what their next step was.
Right.
It's the same thing with organizations. Like there's so many great things. And if you could list, we could be here for days talking about how many great things we could do.
Right.
But if we're not clear on what our next step is, that's really a part of what I get to do.
It seems like there's a lot of intentionality. Like you have to be intentional about it.
And so what I get to do, it's actually almost simple. Yeah, I know. But I love getting to come alongside people.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I get to do is listen. And as people begin to talk to me and listen, I hear things that are repeated. I hear things that keep showing up and I'm like, hey, you keep mentioning this.
We've identified a trend.
Yeah. And I think that sometimes, especially leaders, you've walked alongside CEOs, you've walked alongside, executive or just people in leadership.
Right.
It's a very lonely place to be.
Yeah.
And when you don't have someone to listen and a safe place to dump out all the crazy thoughts and the chaos, then you stay in that. You're not as effective. And so I've found that whether it be, when I was at Westmark and got to listen to, these independent contractors, entrepreneurs building their real estate business, sometimes they just to listen was what they needed.
Yeah.
Same thing with organizations, with chambers, or I work with nonprofits or family-owned companies. They just need to be heard or get or space to talk. And so that's really all I have to do is listen.
So I feel like you might have just answered this question, but your website says clarity leads to action, action leads to impact. What does that mean?
So have you ever procrastinated on anything?
No.
Do you think procrastination is laziness?
No.
No, it's not. It really actually comes from wanting to do the right next thing. And you delay because you're unclear of what that right next thing is. And so when we can get clear on that, we actually start moving into action. Does it mean that it's a one and done? No. It means I'm clear on what my next step is.
Right.
So that's really where that comes from, is whether it be procrastination or just fogginess, confusion.
Don't know where to start.
Yeah. That's all it is let's get some clarity on what our next thing is. That one call, that one step, that one action, whatever it is. So
yeah, my brother's a screenwriter, movie director type, and I've done a lot of writing over my career. We talk a lot about this sort of thing, and he was like, the hardest thing about writing is starting.
Oh, 100%.
And just sounds like that's a theme in everything that you're out there teaching. Okay, I sort of asked you this question, but tell us the origins of the name Simple Things. Who came up with it, and how did you land there?
So back in 2018 is really where this all started. So when I told you earlier, I started with a planner, a vision planner, to help people with their goals and priorities.
Right.
I wanted it to truly be simple. Like if you've ever looked at any kind of planner or process or program, you're like, do I need, there's can we cut the fat,
Right.
trim it, or, net this out, if you will.
Yeah.
And so really that's where it came from, because everything that I've been able to enjoy or do in life has been on the simple side of things. So I really did try to make this, I hate to say dummy proof, but it was for me to go,
Sure.
I will use this. This is something. And so it kind of grew like, how do I just make this understandable for anyone that picks it up? And so it's grown into, organizations that they just, I'm just here to make it simple.
So you probably work with, I'm going to assume dozens of folks. Is there a common theme amongst, depending on what the segment is, what the industry may be? Do you find you're hearing a lot of the same things with with industries that are vastly different?
Yes. And I think it goes back to everyone wants to get clear on making the right step.
What their next best step
yes.
is. Yeah.
And so it's as simple as that, whether it be, again, Chamber of Commerce, a co-op. I work with a lot of co-ops, electric co-ops. I work with family-owned company that is ready for the next level, the next thing, or nonprofits that are here in Lubbock that have got great things going, but they don't know how to make that next big step to where it's actually sustainable.
Right.
So
I feel like, because there's so much going on in the world, it's easier now to be distracted than it ever has been.
Yeah.
I feel like overwhelmed is probably a thing you run into. And we're also, distracted by, this, the phones and everything coming. Instead of us having to go get something, it's all just coming at us.
Oh, yeah.
At the expense of our collective attention span. Awesome stuff. Kerri Thompson this morning with Simple Things, helping businesses find their next best step. How'd I do?
Lovely. You did great.
7:16 a.m. We'll be back with Kerri Thompson and Simple Things right after the break. Stay with us.
Wake Up Call with Benji Snead continues on 92.3 The Hub, the voice for freedom.
Welcome back to the program. Thanks for joining us this morning. Happy Friday, everybody. July the 30th, last day of the month, July 31st, 2026, 7:20 a.m. The sun has risen overlooking the Buddy Holly Hall in beautiful downtown Lubbock. We're live from the Raymar compound here in downtown Lubbock, visiting with Kerri Thompson with Simple Things. A quick reminder, while we're talking here, Election Day tomorrow. If you live in District 4, you hadn't voted, go vote. We had a little over 2,000 folks vote early. 25% of the total historically comes on Election Day. That's still very low turnout when you have 35,000 registered voters and you get 2,500 out. So go vote. What did my old boss used to say? If you don't vote, don't complain. Okay, visiting with Kerri Thompson this morning with Simple Things. Quick recap for folks just now tuning in. You were at Westmark Realtors, had a successful career, decided timing was right to make a change. In 2018, you started Simple Things, where you help businesses define themselves and find their next best step through retreats. Do you do SWOT exercises?
We do SWOT. I have a core value.
Tell folks what that is for those that don't know.
So a SWOT helps you assess strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Got it.
Internal, so you think about internal type things, that's your strengths. External, those are your opportunities. The internal, weaknesses, and then you have external threats. So
when you go in and you do these, and it's a lot of facilitation, I would think, but also you have to be an observer of elephants,
yes,
if you will.
Yes.
What's the hardest truth you've had to reveal to someone in charge that just didn't see what was happening?
Hardest truth.
I mean, have you had to tell an owner, here's your problem?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to tread that very cautiously.
Well, no names.
But I do have to say, maybe not specifically one, but sometimes listening to your people is a big issue.
God forbid.
Or reminding them that they actually are the ones in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 100% like, yes, you want a great team around you. You want to give them their decision thresholds. You want to give them the ability to make decisions at their level. But at the end of the day, whether you're the owner of the company, there's a board that you have to, answer to. At the end of the day, your answer is the one that needs to be said. You run the show.
Oftentimes I would think, you find people that feel stuck professionally. What advice do you give them?
When you feel stuck, probably this may not be the best
for everybody,
for everyone. I do say stepping away is a big thing for to catch your breath, to reflect. For me, I'm a person of faith.
Yeah.
It's to just sit with the Lord and see what He tells you and leads you. And we're given rest as a gift, and if we're not using it, that's when we feel stuck. Yeah. And so there's a lot of clarity in rest.
Yeah, no kidding. So who typically hires you? Do you work with mainly Lubbock folks, and what types of industries are you involved in?
So I I'm kind of split. So I'm originally from Huntsville, Texas.
Oh, wow.
So I came out here to come to school.
Down there. Not in it, but
yeah, I've been in them too. Yeah, but came out to Lubbock to come to school at Lubbock Christian University, and so I have clients around Lubbock. I have them in the Huntsville area.
Okay.
I also have them in San Angelo, Texas. So I've kind of got them here, there, and around. But it's through, and you know this. The best form of marketing is a referral. Somebody sending. Right. So I have found people have been kind enough to share my name with someone. Yeah. That's really the best. The highest compliment is when your name gets shared.
Yeah.
With someone else.
So let's say, I don't know, I'll use Brad Moran. Very successful broadcaster over the years, highly intelligent. He's a manager. He's a leader. Involved in the community. He's kind of got that part figured out, and it does take some time. I'm for one an example of getting to a point to where I've got all these balls in the air, and I'm not dropping anything right now. Let's say Brad calls you up. Where do you start with a guy like that?
I usually start with just a discovery call or conversation. I let them just brain dump, if you will, where I just say, "Tell me about you. Tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
Where are you stuck? What challenges are you facing? What roadblocks are happening? What's going well?" Like I start just several different questions to discover a connection. Yeah. Help to see, what again, it goes back to what keeps getting repeated. Where are they stuck?
A lot of times they'll tell you what issues they have when they would say they don't even know what they are.
Yeah. Yeah. I have found, Benji, that my favorite place to be is in conversations where I just get to hold a space for hospitality. You do this with the radio station or with the show. When you can be a really good listener, ask really good questions, and make someone feel no judgment, no agenda, no just safe in a conversation, you get a lot of great information. I like to call it spiritual hospitality, right? But it's so I find that in those calls, I can wrap them up and say, "Here's what I hear you saying. Here's where I think the pain points are," and we go from there.
Do you do that assessment in person, over the phone?
I've done both.
Okay, you can do both.
Again, I have some clients that I work with virtually, and so
we have to do that anyway.
We have to. Well, I do have to say, when possible, if they let us turn video on, I much prefer being able to see their face and their body language of when they're talking to me. I can
pick up so much.
Yes. And even though it's not as good as being like where we are right now, face to face in person, it helps a lot with connection.
Well, it's that intrapersonal communication that's kind of unspoken that they're not saying much, but they're telling you everything.
Yeah,
sort of
absolutely.
Thing. All right, tell me about your vision planner.
Okay, well, those have been around for since 2018.
Right.
I originally started them for real estate agents.
Okay.
But now I have found that I've got individuals that are in real estate that still use them. I've got nonprofits that use them for their teams. I've got, different companies that use them as just really, it's their strategic planning guide. It helps. So it is paper. It is published on Amazon. I've actually in the works of getting the 2027 version, but here's what it is.
It's yours.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yep. Built it and
love it.
Yeah. It starts at the beginning with where have we been? You're basically walking through strategic planning.
Right.
So you start at the beginning of this planner of tell me about the previous year. Where have we been? Where have we been? Mm-hmm. And I try to break it down into 5 main areas, which is how's your family? How's your faith? How's business? How's your finances? How's recreation? I mean, are you even playing? Like, we forget that play is a really big part of life too. Like, are we even playing? So anyway, go through that and then breaking down goals, individually and get smart with them, if you will.
Is this thing of available to? I mean, do you buy it? Do we have to hire you to come in and?
I mean,
I want to read it. I want to look at the blanks.
I should have brought you one, but
okay.
Yes. So it is on Amazon. The 2027 version will be out this fall because it has the dates. Like we have to update it every year, so you don't have to pencil in dates. It's got instructions throughout the entire
very good
front end. So.
We'll be back right after this with Kerri Thompson and Simple Things. Stay with us.
Wake Up Call with Benji Snead continues on 92.3 The Hub, the voice for freedom.
Welcome back to the program. Thanks for joining us this morning on this Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you have a great, relaxing weekend planned and put a little balance in your life. Speaking of balance, we have Kerri Thompson in the studio this morning. I'm going to read this text we got during the break on the Benji Snead personal text line.
Love it.
Kerri Thompson, the Lubbock business whisperer.
Oh.
There you go.
I'm going to use that.
All right, I'll be honest. That was Nick Atwood texting me that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He's great, by the way. We were talking about him in the break and what he's kind of rewritten the rule book for chamber members over there at the Chamber of Commerce. Okay, I saw your note, Brendan. I'm going to have to come back to that in just a minute. We'll talk about Two Buds, one of our sponsors, here in just a minute. But continue the conversation with Ms. Thompson this morning. What's one piece? So you do strategic planning, SWOT exercise, business retreats, staff retreats, to help people kind of refocus what they want to be in terms of business. What's one piece of advice every business owner should hear?
I would say in all the confusion that we bring on ourselves is start by serving people well. If we can listen carefully to what they actually need rather than becoming too attached to what you originally thought, it's amazing the success that comes from that and the connection that comes from that. So I would say listen well and serve people.
So you recently did what you do in a retreat for the chamber. What's one takeaway that you would say they got out of that?
I mean, it may be as simple as they received more clarity.
Yeah.
Which is my hope. But I think the big takeaway is that we've got something we can do now. Like they feel, you know, sometimes if you've ever been to strategic planning or any kind of big meeting, you leave and you go, well, now what?
Right.
And I truly believe that the Lubbock Chamber Board and staff know what to do next.
Yeah. and you've been doing this since 2018. Do you find I would liken it to this, and you correct me if this is a terrible example, but you remember as a kid, you go to church camp.
Mm-hmm.
You get all fired up. You come back. I'm going to live right. I'm going to make better choices and decisions. Do you find it cyclical that you have the same groups coming back saying we need to refocus?
Yeah, that's just life.
Right.
But I do have to say, when you end, so when I end these type of events, I love to end with, what are you going to do? Because we did all this, because you said yes to being here. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do now?
Right.
And so it was so exciting and powerful to say everyone in our room, whether it be at the Lubbock Chamber Board Retreat or any of the events, is that everyone has something that they're taking away and doing
actionable.
Yeah. And so I was able to capture those and then email them to them on Monday and just say, I'm just so excited. And so it's in writing, we're moving. And so I think that's what so many times, and I've had those experiences where I've worked with organizations that we have a very powerful experience, if you will. We feel like we've made momentum, and then nothing happens.
Right.
And so like, if you've ever experienced that and the pain that comes from, why did we do this? If we're not going to do anything, quit wasting my time and yours. But so I have found that's where I love to come in and go, okay, I get to help implement the strategy. Let me help you beyond the retreat.
Do you find in general the ones that are really there to get focused, get better, that people generally want to be held accountable?
Absolutely, I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So again, you're asking the type of businesses that I work with. I just led a training in Floydada, Texas, with the Lighthouse Electric Co-op. And we talked about accountability yesterday and how it is truly a gift.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's not a gotcha. It's a gift.
Right.
And I think so many times there's trust that's built. Mm-hmm. You feel more valuable if we are held accountable. Mm-hmm. It's not a bad word. It's a good thing. Yeah.
We've had a lot of entrepreneur types, business owner CEOs come here and interview. And I always ask them, at least ask them this same question. Every one of them is what advice they would give to somebody just starting out. And you're reminding me of something. One of the best pieces of advice we got was Howard Thrash was in here, and I asked him the question, and he looked up, thoughtful for a second. He said, "You know what? Don't underestimate yourself."
That's good.
And that to me that resonated, because a lot of times we don't even try, to get better. Okay. Let's talk about the chamber.
Okay.
You're a member, obviously, also helping them with their strategic planning. What did you find specifically in their process that revealed some value, say, for members that hadn't been identified before? Kind of a complicated question.
No, that's great. So this was my big takeaway, or kind of aha light bulb moment, if you will. So when you think about any business, developing the next leaders, the succession plan, your bench strength is a struggle in all industries. When you're coming out of high school and college, you're not equipped with those skills to do conflict resolution, to do just communication at high levels, to have emotional intelligence. These things are developed over time. And I believe that the Chamber of Commerce, whether it be Lubbock or any other chamber, if businesses aren't sending their next leaders to do the trainings, to do the networking, to be a part of and experience what the chamber can offer,
right,
you're missing out on a massive opportunity. Send the next leaders.
Yeah.
It helps develop them and prepare them to be in your position.
Yeah.
If the CEO can't go, then you better send somebody else.
Right.
So
be represented.
Yes, it's for all levels. My daughter, and her fiance are both 21 years old. I'm like, y'all need to go to Young Professionals, go to business after hours, get to know people, show up at all the, I mean, you're missing opportunities that are so high value at a price. I mean, you've probably done it. I've been to leadership programs in Chicago where Mike Westmark invested thousands of dollars for me to go and be a better leader.
Right.
Not everybody could do that.
Right. Outside of the just pure experience one needs to navigate through a business environment, what qualities for a young person do you look for that you can build on?
I want to see humility. Someone that's willing to learn. I think that this next generation is so concerned that they're not going to come across as prepared, and it scares them. I need them to be willing to say, I don't know how to do this yet.
Right.
Teach me.
Very good. Good advice. Kerri Thompson with Simple Things this morning. We're going to talk about how somebody engages with simple things coming up after the break. This is good stuff. I think any business owner out there, at the very least, listening to this, could get a little reflective.
I hope so.
If you will. Yeah. 7:46 a.m. Back with Kerri Thompson after this. You're listening to the Wake Up Call, 92.3 The Hub.
Wake Up Call with Benji Snead continues on 92.3 The Hub, the voice for freedom.
Good morning. Welcome to the Wake Up Call. Welcome back to the Wake Up Call. If you've been listening, visiting with Kerri Thompson with Simple Things. As Nick Atwood put it, the business whisperer of Lubbock. You do business retreat, strategic planning, step back and assess what we're doing, sort of, I'll call them prayer meetings. Is there I'm just going to ask this, just popped in my head. Is there a spiritual component to anything you do?
Absolutely, there is. Right. Everything I do is on the foundation of my faith, for sure. I used this term a little bit ago, but I love the idea of spiritual hospitality.
Unpack that for me.
Yes. So I am a social person, but I've had to learn how to listen well. And as a few years ago, you know how some people do, like, hey, my word of the year is whatever. Well, spiritual hospitality was mine a few years ago, and it was for me to lean in and be a better listener and create a space for others to be vulnerable, to feel not judged, to feel like they can be as transparent as they want to be, and they feel safe and it's confidential. But I have found, as I've done that because I do believe it's a spiritual space for people, that I have had more people that have come into my office or my space or on a call, and they leave going, I don't know what just happened. Because exactly what I've been preparing a space for them. It's almost like if I, like with us sitting here and I go, hey, let's just sit and have a cup of coffee together.
Right.
I mean, I'm being hospitable and creating a comfortable space for them. And I think the Lord has allowed that.
This feels like less work than most interviews. Yeah. I'll say that.
Well, good.
How important, I'm sure this comes up in your when you're helping these businesses redefine whatever their need is. How important is balance in the whole scheme of things?
It's very a real term. Can I use that as a specific term?
Absolutely.
It's very important. And when you say, when you think about balance, I think it's unique to that person. Yeah. When I think about some of the tasks that I do now, I have a high capacity for the things that I enjoy doing, but I also have to have space for rest and family and eating well and exercising. Slight shout out to Bridget and Angie for letting me pass on workout this morning so I can hang out with you guys. So thank you.
You bring your dumbbells, Brennan?
Yeah, did you? Go find them, please. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
So balance is important. It occurs to me, you kind of have to practice what you preach, because by definition, if you're not successful, how are you going to teach others? How do you step back and reassess and say, okay, where's my business going, helping businesses?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And so again, let me just say this part. I have been stepping out in my Simple Things business solely without having my previous career also for a year today. Like today, July 31st of 2025, I stepped away from Westmark, and I've been doing this for a year.
Okay.
So with that, I'm learning that this is a process that I have to learn too, but to put things away and to spend time with my husband, to spend time with my kids, to lay in the pool and be that this is my activity. And when I do that, or I get a lot of drive time, I travel a lot for what I get to do. I travel 4 to 6 times a month. That windshield time is when I am by myself, and sometimes I turn the music off. But I know when I'm not balanced.
Right.
Like it's interesting the more that when you do get a taste of balance, how you crave it.
Oh, wow.
And so if you've experienced a healthy balance, when you're not in it. And so it's, there's so many techniques and things, but it's like, you could use the wheel of life, which we could unpack it if we ever wanted to, but just like think of all the areas of my life. Am I connecting with my husband? Am I connecting with my kids? Am I eating well? Am I spending time with the Lord? Am I doing our family loves to go hiking.
Right.
Like, whew, that is
I read that about you.
Yeah, love it. But those type things help center me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll tell a quick story, which leads to a question for you. Back when the iPhones came out and texting was just the whole dynamic of communications was shifting to texting, like talking lost.
Yes.
Talking lost and texting took over. And I remember being engrossed on it, and it was before you knew any better, you didn't realize how long you'd not been having a conversation with who's in front of you, and you're on your phone, and you have to kind of train yourself. And I remember my brother, this was like 2008 or 9, I was in Dallas, and I said, man, I get distracted so easy. This iPhone makes it so easy just to be. And he said, just be where you're at.
Ooh.
How do you help? What's the one thing, 1, 2, 3, however many, that someone could walk away and apply in terms of what advice you would give about how to just focus in today's world of the lack of a collective attention span, so to speak?
Right now, my thought would be, it might be different in an hour, but here's what I would say.
I'm sure it varies from business to business.
Are you connected with your people? So who is your circle of trust, your go-to people that know you well enough to say, Benji, you are not on track with who I know you are.
Right.
Like, who are your truth tellers? I have truth tellers.
Yeah.
If you disconnect from your truth tellers, you need to realign. Make sure you got to have people that know when you're not well, know when you're doing well, that can cheer you on, give you different perspective. You've got to keep those relationships. The discipline of community is a real thing. Discipline of community. I
like that. Well, you've got to be I guess I don't know if confidence is the word, but you've got to know yourself well enough not to be offended with the truth when somebody wants you to course correct and you don't realize you're off course.
Yep.
Yeah, hard conversations.
Yeah, you have to give them permission to do that.
Yeah, interesting.
Not everyone. It's a very small group and a very short list.
Yeah.
But absolutely.
Okay. So where are we going in this? I'm going to just ask you about a couple of random things, but AI, you use it?
Yes, I do.
How do you use it?
So I am a business of one.
Okay.
And so...
by definition.
So I have found that it truly helps organize a lot of my thoughts. I use it to help streamline my communication. It helps... I use it I really do. I use it daily. But here's the deal that I have found. People are scared of it.
Yeah.
But if you don't use it well, our human element is always going to be there. There's times that I'm like, no, I'm not using that. Like, don't just copy and paste it.
Yeah.
Like, it is, you have the ability to keep that human side a part of it, but it has helped me be more efficient and effective and allows me to do the things that only I can do.
Yeah. I asked that question. Somebody asked me that recently, and it just off the top of my head, I just said, well, ChatGPT can't make eye contact.
Nope.
And you can't replace that. So keep it in perspective. Learn how to use it first, though, I would think. All right. Visiting with Kerri Thompson this morning with Simple Things. I keep promising we're going to tell people how they can get engaged with you. We'll do that.
Leave them hanging. I like it.
We'll do that after the break.
Maybe ChatGPT could tell them. I don't know.
You stick around. We stick around for the next segment.
Yeah, absolutely.
We still have things we can talk about here that I think are fascinating for business owners, people in general. 7:59 a.m. We'll be back on the other side.
Wake Up Call with Benji Snead continues on 92.3 The Hub, the voice for freedom.
Good morning, Lubbock and West Texas, 8:06 a.m. You're listening to the Wake Up Call this morning on this Friday, last day of the month, July 31st. Back to school right around the corner. I think Lubbock ISD starts on the 12th. You guys in Friendship?
We are.
Friendship. When do y'all start the 12th?
I think it's the next week.
Yeah, I think I read that. Yeah. Kerri Thompson with Simple Things. Been visiting with her this morning. Great discussion. It's good to step back and assess things. You help businesses do that through strategic planning. You do getaways. What do we call the retreats? Board retreats, management retreats, to get people focused on, as you put it earlier, the next best decision. Yeah. So, but we want to get to know you as a person.
Okay.
So if you've been listening this morning, lots of great business advice there. You recently just got back from a board retreat with the Chamber, which I heard was tremendously successful. Actually, that's why you're here today. I was talking with Nick Atwood at the Chamber yesterday, and I was telling him we had a guest cancel. He goes, "You need a guest. Man, you got to call Kerri because you're gonna love her. She did this retreat; it was great. So you got rave reviews there. But we want to get to know you as a person. I did a little research.
Okay.
So if any of these are off base or not on point, we kind of drilled down a little bit based on some things I read on your website.
Okay.
All right, Friday night pizza.
Yep.
How long have you been doing Friday night pizza?
My daughter's 21, and I think we started when she was 2.
Every Friday.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So we make our own dough for years. Every once in a while, we step out and support Domino's or Dion's, but yeah, it's a family event.
Who picks the toppings?
Whoever's eating it. So it's individual pizzas. It's everyone.
Okay.
I do have to say, if you've ever had the raw, like tortilla land tortillas, use those as a crispy thin pizza. You can, like, I have a technique. I will share it with you. It is the best.
Learning all kinds of stuff this morning. Who's the most competitive during family board game nights? Is it you?
I'm going to say there's a chance.
The look on your face.
We are all a little competitive.
Yeah.
They learned, this is so bad. My kids have learned to trash talk from their grandma.
Oh, wow.
She's a gem, like the best person ever, but she knows how. She gets them riled up.
She can get inside their
I love it
heads.
so much. She's an amazing human, but yeah.
How would your kids describe you?
How would they describe me? I would hope that they would describe me as encouraging, positive, fun.
Competitive.
Yeah, maybe competitive.
So you're the most competitive, but who usually wins?
Not me.
Okay.
Yeah, so
at least you're honest.
My husband wins a lot, and so does my son Troy wins a whole lot. But I do think we all I should say Molly and Luke also are winners.
Spread it out.
We're all winners. We're all winners.
What's your favorite game?
We are huge Settlers of Catan fans. And we actually, most of the time, leave a Wahoo board on the dining room table.
Okay.
So have you ever played Wahoo?
Never.
Yes. So it is marbles, and you have to roll the dice and get all your marbles around to your. I mean, so it's a fun dinner time game. Anyway.
Very good.
I encourage it.
Okay. A little more serious question.
Okay.
I read that you've got some experience teaching Bible class.
Yes.
What has that taught you about leadership and helped you with what you do for businesses?
I don't have it all figured out. Is probably my number one takeaway. I love, whether it be ladies' Bible class or leadership and employee development trainings that I do, I don't have to have it figured out. I can study it. I just get to come along and say, hey, let's figure this out together.
Yeah.
And I've learned, hey, the best things I can do is expose my flaws.
Right.
And go from there. So,
and
I've got plenty to choose from. So, it makes teaching anything fun.
You've been doing this, helping businesses, about 8 years now? Mm-hmm. Is there something that has just surprised you when you go in and something that you've learned that you didn't know before when you get this type of synergy in a room?
My thought right now is just they're real people.
Yeah.
I think so many times we think of like the C-level executives. There's this different air, and there can be, but they're just real people that want to do a good job.
Yeah.
And do it well. And I think the vulnerability that comes with that has been surprising and
there you go.
Exciting.
Yeah, vulnerability. That's good. And I would think by definition, unless they're just dragged there, that
has happened. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. But by and large, I would think any group in that setting, wanting to be there, by definition of that, would want to do a good job in their role in the workplace.
Yeah.
What's one business habit every entrepreneur should adopt as an entrepreneur yourself?
My number one thing is learn how to serve. If you can serve well, and I think that starts with, it would probably be starting with listening. Like, we can have all the ideas of what we think we're good at, and come with our own agenda to things. But if we don't listen well and serve what someone needs to them, we're not going to be successful.
No.
So I think it comes down to being a good listener and knowing how to serve what you need or whoever's in front of me needs.
Got it. Visiting with Kerri Thompson this morning with Simple Things, as Nick Atwood put it, the Kerri Thompson, the business whisperer. All right, let's get to this part before I forget again. How does whether it's a business, an entrepreneur, an organization, a nonprofit, you mentioned you work with some nonprofits, how do they engage with you?
My website is a great place to start. It is Simple Things by Kerri, and Kerri is spelled KERRI.com. So simplethingsbykerri.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn.
KERRI.
Yep.
Got it. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, right. Just send me a message, call me, shoot me an email. I would love to whether we do business or not, I just love discovering what people are about. So
yeah.
I am curious by nature, and I
get that about you. What do you hope, whether it's a client or not, but when you interact, what do you hope? We'll say clients. What do you hope clients will remember most after working with you? You said service earlier, but make it more what do you want to be remembered for when you leave a setting like that?
It's this is going to sound very cliche, but I hope people go, man, that was really simple. Like that was, I know, but
I love it.
But it's, I want people to go, because here's the deal. I'm not telling or teaching anything that people don't know. They are discovering it for themselves. It's very much the Socratic method of they're now doing the critical thinking, and I just get to say, and there you go. I sometimes get to wrap it up in a package and go, what you said now looks pretty, Like so.
Okay. So are you more of a podcast or book reader or both?
I love both. I'm an audio learner or audible learner. So I do have Audible, and I love podcasts, so I have to listen to learn.
What's the last book you listened to?
Last book. What is it? I think it was a book on faith by Jenny Allen about emotions, and I'm drawing a blank at the name of it.
On the name of it.
Yeah.
That's okay. What podcast do you listen to regularly?
I love, this is a faith-based one called Bema. Fantastic by
Bema?
By Marty Solomon. Great faith-based podcast. But I also love Patrick Lencioni's. There's one about Working Genius. A lot of fun.
Genius.
Really good stuff. Yeah.
I love getting
We could go on and on. There's so many. It's hard to choose. But those are good ones.
Very good. All right. Visiting with, Kerri Thompson this morning with Simple Things, helping businesses pick a direction, redefine themselves, some branding, strategic thinking, SWOT exercises, board retreats, all the like. We'll be back with more with Kerri after the break. Stay with us.
Wake Up Call with Benji Snead continues on 92.3 The Hub, the voice for freedom.
Welcome back to the program. Thanks for joining us this morning. Happy Friday, everybody. 8:20 a.m. It is 73 degrees outside right now. I got a cooler start to the day, but it's going to be forecasted to be a little hotter than it was yesterday at 100 degrees. It's just been so hot lately. So stay cool this weekend. Stay hydrated. Hope you have some fun plans for the weekend. We'll be back here first thing Monday morning, 6 a.m. Quick little programming note. Next week on the program, we'll have, I think we start off with Representative Carl Tepper. Tepper, not Isett. Carl Tepper will be in the studio. We'll also have Lubbock Superintendent Kathy Rollo here as well. And then Wednesday, excited to have the Lubbock Police Chief on the program. Seth, we've not had him on before, and excited to visit. So that's next week. Meanwhile, talking to Kerri Thompson with Simple Things. For those just tuning in, Kerri, simply put, what is Simple Things?
Simple Things is my business that gets to come alongside people and clarify and help execute the next thing or the next things and make a plan for it. Yeah.
And you do that in a variety of settings, whether it's a board retreat, or do you go inside businesses and work with staff, or do you just work with leadership? Give me an example. Yeah,
so I do work with a lot of boards and leadership teams, but another aspect that I get to do is I work alongside a great organization called Louder Led. It's owned by Jansen and Abby Louder. The Louder is their last name and is a tribute to Jansen's dad, who used to be the general manager at Deaf Smith Electric Co-op in Hereford, Texas.
Okay.
He did some, but the lead part is leadership and employee development. And so we get to travel to electric and phone co-ops between Texas, New Mexico, and Oklahoma, and do leadership and employee development within those co-ops. And so what that looks like is I'll do group trainings, but I also get to do some one-on-ones with just their staff or their emerging leaders that are up and coming.
Rank and
leaders.
file.
Yeah. So
and how do those differ from what types of questions do you have for, like you said, a lineman earlier versus the president?
They're not that different.
Okay.
But I like to see. I love for people to communicate what's going well. It's really great for the brain to what's going well, because I think sometimes our natural tendency is to focus on what's not going well. So we talk a little bit about what's going well. We talk a little bit about what's not maybe challenging. I like to frame things because our brains are always listening, but maybe what's challenging. I also encourage in those conversations, like, what's a win? Like, do we even stop for a second and say, hey, can we celebrate that you just completed that job on time, or that you diffused a tough conversation and didn't lose your cool. Like those type things are worth celebrating. But in those conversations through those simple questions, it's amazing how I get to learn a lot.
Sure.
I got to talk to someone yesterday in purchasing, and I'm like, I had no idea how complicated and how skilled you are at purchasing the right things at the right time. And so it really just, I kind of have my questions, and then I have the freedom to let it go where it needs to go.
Right.
So,
and what does it look like in terms of like a time frame? Do you do like day long things, weekend things, or how, what typically is the cycle there?
It's all over the place. It just depends on what the cadence is of the company. Okay. So, like when I do go into co-ops, we do like usually like 1 day training. So I'll do like 3 or 4 different groups, or maybe 1 or 2 different groups. And then like, 2 to 4 one-on-one conversations that are up to 30 minutes. But like the retreat with the chamber was 2 days, and they don't do theirs, but every couple of years, I work with a company that we meet quarterly for a day. Or I've got a company that we do 1 day in the middle of the year and 2 days at the end of the year. It's deciding what is best for who's across the table that I'm sitting from. So
you go in, you do the 1 day thing, the weekend thing, the 2 day thing, whatever it looks like.
Yeah.
What does a win for you look like at the end of it?
A win for me is when I can see the room that there's like this, it's almost like a light in the eyes of the people that are in the room. Like, oh, now I've got a little, like it really, like clarity is very tangible, if you will. You can see it in people's posture. You can see it in their demeanor of how they engage in the conversation, how they leave the room. I can read a room. That's the emotional intelligence that we're constantly trying to develop. But if you can read a room and go, they seem to get it, or that they seem like they know what to do next, it's a win.
Light bulbs.
Yep.
Going off. What challenges do most organizations have in common?
The most, it probably is communication.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I think here's what I believe that people are doing the best they can with their talents, with their abilities, with their behaviors. We're doing the best we can. And if I can lean in and say, you know what, Benji's doing the best he can, it sure makes my day a whole lot better. But sometimes we just think people are out to communicate poorly. Who shows up at their job and go, I'm going to do a bad job today. I'm not going to communicate well today. I'm going to just make them get confused. Like nobody does that.
Right.
So if we can just lean in and go, hey, this person's wired and made differently than I am. And I'm going to meet them where they are. The communication. So back to the communication. If we can get to a place that we all understand and have some clarity, then I feel like it's a win no matter what organization you're in.
Well, you said do your best. Isn't that really, after all you can ask of anybody? Is just...
Absolutely. And my best today is going to be probably different than my best for tomorrow.
Your best will always change.
Yeah.
But always be giving your best, right?
Yep, exactly.
So if someone listening out there feels a little stuck professionally, what advice would you give them? Other than hire you.
Right. Well, there we go. Get your pencil and paper out.
Yeah.
Make a call to somebody that knows you. And I would call it a brain dump. You can be a verbal brain dumper, if you will, and get somebody to listen on the other end, or just start scribbling on paper. Like, here's what's going on. It's amazing what getting all of our senses involved will, and get away from technology for just a moment.
Right.
I would say that would be probably my favorite thing to say. Step away.
I have to get on AI and ask how to do that.
If that's what it takes,
Right.
There you go. There you go.
So you, we mentioned this before, but I want to drill down just a little bit. You've been doing this about 8 years, helping businesses. But as a person who stepped out there to become an entrepreneur, what initial fears did you have to overcome?
I'm going to say, for me, once something's clear, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
But I'm going to use the term, I had to line up my trucks. So when I'm ready to go on to do and go something, sometimes you want some certainty. You want a guarantee.
Sure thing.
But all I had was my next step as a guarantee. So when I think about my husband my husband Joel, he would laugh because he would love a guarantee. Who doesn't want a guarantee on things? Right. And so I had to create a little clarity on what I was stepping away from and what I was stepping into. And honestly, I only knew
one of them.
Oh, yeah. So when we both, and again, I told you I'm a person of faith, but I do think the Lord led me to say it's time.
Yeah.
I wasn't too late. I wasn't too early. It was time.
Sure.
And so I just had to have the courage to do it.
Okay. Website one more time.
It is simplethingsbykerri.com.
Kerri. Simplethingsbykerri.com. Back with Kerri and Simple Things in 6 minutes. Stay with us.
Wake Up Call with Benji Snead continues on 92.3 The Hub, the voice for freedom.
Good morning, everybody. 8:36 a.m. You're listening to the Wake Up Call. Thanks for joining us on this Friday, July the 31st, last day of the month. If you didn't get it done this month, you got the rest of the day, if that was on your list of goals. Visiting with Kerri Thompson with Simple Things this morning. We're going to continue that conversation. But first, I want to remind folks about our new friends over at Two Buds Drilling, water well service and drilling. Water's a big deal, right? So they handle new residential, commercial, and agricultural well drilling. They do new pump installations. They also service existing wells. Did you know if you want a water well in the city limits, you can do that to supplement your irrigation? But it does require some permits, paperwork. They'll take the hassle off completely off your shoulders with that whole red tape process. They'll do all the permits and paperwork. They also do well inspections for buyers and sellers and on-site water quality testing. Tanner, John, the whole crew at Two Buds are the local water well experts. I'm going to give you their phone number, 806-401-5111, 806-401-5111. And we appreciate their support of the program. Okay, continuing our conversation with Kerri Thompson this morning with Simple Things. For those folks just tuning in, what does Simple Things actually do?
Well, Simple Things is real.
Is it simple?
Yeah, simple, really. So Simple Things is just an avenue for clarity. So
for business.
Yeah, for business, for individuals. So I mean, it helps silence a lot of noise and those distractors.
Sure.
My hope is that it is just a way to help you do the next right thing.
Do the next right thing. Who typically hires you?
Well, I do work with a couple of chambers of commerce. Yeah. I've worked with a few of those. I have some work with nonprofits. I've worked with family-owned companies. I would say I work with leaders who are lonely in a sense that
most of them are.
That's exactly right, because leadership is a lonely place to be. I think about people, whether it be a chamber of commerce or a co-op, people that report to boards. They're the board employee, and so they're kind of stuck between leading this group of staff and reporting to the board. And so sometimes they just need a space to vent, clear things out, make sense of things. Those conversations have been a privilege to be a part of.
Good leaders don't typically get to complain down.
Yeah, and so I have found probably my favorite thing that I get to do is it's the consulting coaching calls where I get to just listen to what they're having to navigate, and it's just. Let's say you get a client once. Typically, what I used to say. Well, in the mortgage, I use mortgage as an example. Get a client once, keep them for life. Do you do the reoccurring follow-ups? And once you go in and do the initial step, are there phases that you go through? Yeah, so that's a great question. I work with some organizations for just a season. So it could be 3, 4, 6 months. But I also have clients that hire me and I work with them monthly. I'm coming up on, especially you think about, I have a family business that I'll be serving them another year. I work with a Chamber of Commerce in Huntsville, Walker County Chamber. I get to work with them monthly, and we're starting our second year together. And so it is something that it almost, it's almost like I'm a fractional strategist that gets, so meaning that I get to help say, hey, remember what we said at this meeting or this retreat or this event? I'm going to hold you to it. Right. What's the progress on it? So that the strategy, I don't know about you. If you've ever been the holder of the strategic plan, you still have a full-time job.
Right.
And so I get to be the one that says, hey, we've put this together and I'm going to help you. I'm the whisperer, if you will, like Nick said, that gets to say, this is what we said we were going to do. Don't get distracted over there. Let's come back over here. And so I get to help with those conversations. So yes, to answer your question, I do have long-term I get to be a part of the plan for a long time.
How important and what is your role in the area of time management? Because it seems it all kind of would revolve around that.
Yeah. That's always, that is a fun one to unpack, Benji. I have built trust. When you think about time management, I am still building trust, and I've built trust with leaders that I get to ask hard questions and say, do you feel like you're on track? What are your priorities?
Most of the time they'll point out their own.
Or I ask permission to say, hey, can I say something?
Yeah.
This seems to be a distraction, So I think it's shaping your time to be the highest and best use of it. And it's going to, there might be some framework that you can use, but it's got to be unique to the person.
Yeah. What leadership mistakes do you most often see?
Either it has to do with decisions. It's either not giving people the permission to make decisions at their trusted levels, or you are the decision maker, and so it bottlenecks at you. This happens a lot with leaders. Is if we're not careful, if we don't build in decision thresholds. So if you think about an organizational chart, you've got your different levels of leaders that report to you, and then other people that report to them. If you aren't clear on what, hey, Benji, this is what I trust you to do. If I am not clear. Empowerment, yes. Then things get bottlenecked or frustration, or you get too many voices at the table, and then it's hard to make a decision. Yeah,
I read a book. This reminds me of a book I read, 10, 15 years ago, Necessary Endings.
Oh, so good, by Henry Cloud.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, so good.
You talk about internal inspection. You really, when you can decide that it's time to end something, and it sounds like that's exactly what you did back in 2018. What were your biggest challenges getting started in your own, with your own, starting your own business?
Well, you say 2018. So really and truly, I've had the business since 2018,
right? But
I didn't completely go out on my own until a year ago.
Okay.
So I had this smaller ramp up.
I don't know how I missed that
That's
earlier.
Okay.
That's a big distinction.
Yeah. So I've ramped up, building and working with people and creating relationships for years. And then this past year is when I've really stepped out independently. The hardest part is probably trusting that I have the ability to support the way somebody needs to.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I mean that I know that I have abilities,
right?
But I have to make sure that I'm being a good steward of my time before I decide. I guess this is the next thing, is before I decide, do I add somebody else on? Are people hiring me? Or are they hiring the services that I provide?
Right.
So sometimes that's a little scary.
Yeah.
And I like, we were talking off the air, is in the kitchen. It's kind of like my business. So
I see.
In the kitchen, my husband will say, man, would you just write that recipe down? But I like to go rogue a little bit because that gives me the creative freedoms, and the excitement that I get is that I don't follow the exact recipe every time.
I can see that.
And so some of that is even in my business, is that
Right.
I can, which I love, because when I can figure out what you need, I can say, okay, I can change my model to
Right.
best suit
Yeah.
Benji. But the scary thing with that is if I do that too much, I will spread myself too thin. So just kind of having that good discernment
Right.
has probably been my biggest challenge of what I can and what I should do.
Well, and by definition of what you're trying to do to help business and individuals, I would think it's even there's a micro focus on having your own house in order
Yep.
before you go try to
Yep.
help other people.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. 8:46 a.m. We'll be back here on 92.3 The Wake Up Call, visiting with Kerri Thompson with Simple Things to wrap up another edition of the show. Stay with us.
Wake Up Call with Benji Snead continues on 92.3 The Hub, the voice for freedom.
Welcome back to the program. 10 minutes till 9 o'clock as we wind up another edition of the Wake Up Call here. We'll be back Monday morning, 6 to 9 a.m. That's every weekday. A couple of programming notes for next week. We've got some exciting interviews. So Tuesday in the 8 o'clock hour, Representative Carl Tepper will be live in the studio. Lots to talk to the state representative about, not the least of which is his opinion about these data centers. So we'll visit with Carl Tepper in the 8 a.m. hour. And then Wednesday in the 7 a.m. hour, Police Chief Seth Herman will be live in the studio. He was in the news last night talking about motorcycle safety. And then just in time for back to school, we'll have Lubbock ISD Superintendent Kathy Rollo will be live in the studio. We'll talk everything back to school, what's going on with the new schools. They've got 3 new elementaries planned out there, and I think construction will be starting pretty soon. So we'll catch up with her about all of that. So make sure to tune in next week. Meantime, Kerri Thompson with Simple Things in the studio. We've talked a lot about how you help businesses. You do the board retreats, the SWAT exercises, all of this. We talked a little bit about your family in the first hour, but tell us about your family and your kids.
Yeah. So I have been married to Joel for 24 years. We just celebrated 24 years of marriage.
Wow. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. And we have 3 fantastic kids. Our daughter, Molly, 21, engaged to a wonderful guy, Silas.
We like him.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. But they both graduate from LCU in December, get married in the spring. And then our middle, Troy, he starts at LCU in the fall. And then he's into auto mechanics and business.
Yeah.
He follows suit from his mom. He loves to explore and get creative in the kitchen.
Right.
And then Luke is our youngest. He's 16, going to be a junior at Friendship High School, and starting in esports. Do you know much about esports?
Enough to be dangerous,
Well,
but I don't understand how it relates to high school.
Well, he's on the esports team.
There's an esports team.
Yeah. I'm excited to learn as he gets into that.
Well, Brendan, were you aware of this? There's an esports team.
When I was in college, LCU had an
Yeah.
esports team. I didn't know there was one at Friendship, though.
So what is that? I mean, I'm guessing that's video games or
Yeah.
wow.
But don't ask me too many questions. I'm just at the beginning of learning this, but I'm excited. It'll be fun to learn.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Well, I wish him well.
Yeah, me too. And then all together as a family, we've lived, Joel and I, when we first got married, lived in Ropes. He coached and taught there. And then we moved to Whiteface, Texas for 9 years, where he coached and taught. And then we moved back to Lubbock in 2015, where he was an assistant principal. for 11 years, and then just recently stepped into the director of facilities for the district. So lots of fun changes this past year between me stepping out, and then he also has changed careers. Lots of fun things happen in the Thompson house. So,
like married to a coach, which I would assume you find yourself in that role more and more these days with what you do.
Yeah.
How comfortable are you when you go into a business situation, whether it's strategic planning or whatever it may be, letting the coach role bleed over into from business coach to, say, life coach? Do you let those spaces kind of just
absolutely, I do.
Ebb and flow?
I kind of look for permissions, if you will, knowing, some people when they talk to me, they only want to talk business, but as they start to unfold information, it pretty much gives me permission to say, "Oh, you're a parent. You're you're at this stage of life, or you do this, that, or the other." And so it naturally happens a lot of times. And sometimes, well, let me say this. I usually ask for permission to step into life, which I've not had any rejections for that yet. But yeah.
So you answered this question earlier, but for those just tuning in, somebody gets in touch with you and they're trying to, define who they are, depending on what their situation is. How do you identify that? How do you identify where you start with the business?
So really it comes through a discovery call or meeting.
Okay.
Where they just kind of lay out, they open up the medicine cabinet, if you will, and we learn a lot of things just in a conversation. Sometimes in that I immediately know, hey, here's an option for you. Or I say, hey, let me process this, all this conversation. It was great. And I can come up with maybe a prescription or a situation that I think would suit you. And this is what I love is because it can be tailored. It could be a retreat. It can be just working with an executive team. Like I'm working with a nonprofit right now, and I'm not going to be in front of the board, but I'm working with the executive director and the COO to help build their strategic plan. Or so I get to listen and then come up with the solution, work with them on the solution.
Do you find most of them already know what kind of format they want it in, or do you go do your discovery call and then say, this is what I suggest we do, whether it be a retreat or a one-day deal? Or
It's a mix of things. I usually try to give them a couple of options, but sometimes they already tell me what they want.
Have in mind.
And then I can base it off that and say, here's what you've asked for, but here might be another option. And so I'm flexible, and I want them to be confident in whatever our plan is. So,
what's the smallest group you've ever worked with?
Smallest group. It's just an individual. Like
one person.
One person. Yeah.
What's more difficult, the businesses with a large number of employees, or the individual 1, 2, 3 people? I would think the answer might surprise people.
They each have their own unique challenges, but when people are involved, it's difficult. It can be difficult, but when people are not involved, meaning there's a small talent, like you have just enough, like maybe one person or just a few people, you've got to stretch that team to do great things. And so the people aspect is going to either just too many people and you got to figure out how to navigate the big boat, or you go, okay, how do we get this little one to do great things with limited resources?
Right. How do you obviously are identifying people's within an organization, what their individual strengths are and value to a company. Do you find yourself, let's say you got somebody that just has a terrible attitude. What, if any, is your role in course correcting there when you work with the managers? Tough question.
That is a tough question. I can only do enough that is allowed, meaning if someone's not coachable or willing to change or adapt, then we haven't. That's the hardest situation.
Fine line between helping someone discover that and being a tattletale, so to speak.
Exactly. And so kindness in all of it is it opens a lot of doors.
Yeah,
So,
makes sense. Kerri, thanks for being here. This was fun.
I agree.
I enjoyed it. Learned a lot too. Your vision planner, get it on Amazon.
Yep.
Very
the new
good.
one for 2027 will be out this fall.
Okay.
So,
Website one more time.
SimpleThingsByKerri.com. And that's Kerri.
SimpleThingsByKerri.com. This was great. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for the invite.
Thanks for the listeners out there sticking with us this morning. We'll be back Monday morning,
Have a great day.
6 a.m. Have a great weekend, everybody.